Where would be an interesting place to home alone someone?
A fire.
There's a mouse trap on the floor in this fire. Ow!
Oh no, what are we going to do? Well, yeah, because we've only got several minutes before our oxygen runs out. What?
Well, it's getting consumed by the fire that's raging all around us. Oh.
What? He's just a kid! Yeah, I mean... Yeah, but
look, Marv, we came here to rob this fire.
Now we're the flaming bandits. Ow. Ow.
We're going to get... Ah!
That you can catch me. Ow.
Very, very short film. Do, 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 do.
Ow.
Hark, hear the bells. All Christmas movies in a fire. A miracle on Fire Street.
Fire on 34th Street. It's really...
You're not the real Santa Claus. Help me!
He wouldn't be so easily consumed by the flame of truth and also fire. Ow.
That's right, I'm testing all the Santas by subjecting them to fire. One of them's going to be the real Santa, but not this time. La 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 la. She skips into the distance, that fucking kid from Matilda.
Oh Christ, Karamara.
Karamara Wilson, absolutely. Podcast that will one day be covered in pigeons, waiting for kids in a park. I'm Paul Fricker.
I'm sorry I screamed in your face.
Oh, that's alright, mate. Anytime. I got off to it. It's very nearly Christmas by our watch. To wrap up our weird decision to devote nearly 10% of our output for the year to a single day commemorating a deity neither of us believe in, we're going to launch a valiant defense.
Yeah.
Of sometimes Christmas classic, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Hiya, pal.
Deck the halls with Marv and Harry.
Yes!
Make their Christmas not so merry. Give them bricks and give them riches. One more Christmas in the trenches. Toss some paint cans down to greet them. Send the toolbox down to meet them. Serve the nails for Christmas dinner. Kevin is declared the winner.
May I do the thinking, please?
Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
You wearing aftershave? That's kerosene. Now why would anybody soak a rope in kerosene?
Merry Christmas.
It's more in honor of the non-denominational winter solstice. I mean, even though I am in Australia and don't believe in winter anymore.
It's not around me. If you don't believe in winter, when you can't see it, then you'll never get to Santa. Last Jedi is a masterpiece. Home Alone 2 is the 1992 sequel to the 1990 family comedy Goodfellas, starring Joe Pesci.
And Marv as Kevin.
Hey, what you fucking doing? I'm just flooding the basement so that everybody knows that the people who hit this drug dealer are the wet hitman.
I hate you.
What are you fucking? You think you're trying to be funny right now? No.
Good, because that's me. All me, Joe Pesci, funny man.
I wish we hadn't gotten an agent who insisted that we have to appear in the same movies always. Every movie Joe Pesci's in, Daniel Stern now has to be in by contract. It's very awkward.
What am I, funny? Funny how? Fuck you, you little bitch! Open your mouth! Joe, swallow it! Swallow the gun!
And John Williams has to score it. Director Chris Columbus and writer-producer John Hughes return, along with most of the rest of the last movie.
Yeah, that's easy.
Oh, critics didn't like it.
Yeah, no, they didn't, did they?
I didn't like it. Give it a polish, put it in a box. Click, you're dead, fucker. It's Roger Ebert, writing for the Chicago Sun-Times.
Oh, fuck.
He said, I didn't much like the first film, and I don't much like this one. with its sadistic little hero who mercilessly hammers a couple of slow-learning crooks, nor did I enjoy the shameless attempt to leaven the mayhem by including a preachy subplot about the pigeon lady of Central Park. Call me hard-hearted, call me cynical, but please don't call me if they make Home Alone 3.
Oh, someone probably did, though.
Roger, you'll never believe it, or I fucking tell you. Hey, Pesci, get in here. Do you have to bring... Yeah, I have to bring him.
Adding you to the fucking list of what? Of people's addresses that him and Siskel are gonna... his lives are gonna ruin by releasing him on the internet.
Tell you what, though, public loved it.
Yeah, they did.
Like a curry in the shower. Do I mean Tim or Tika? Never mind, get it in your wet place. Adriana Melendez over at Google said, I saw it is really good, but it is not as good as the first, although it still has the comedy we all love. The character still got it, but the fact that Kevin is in New York and stayed at a hotel and accidentally took his dad's wallet and got to stay at a hotel. And when he went to the hotel, this guy, the bellhop, automatically judges Kevin with no reason. And last movie, Kevin learned about friendship and not to judge old people, but then he did it again with the pigeon lady. Now for the nice stuff. I really like how Kevin went through all the trouble just to save the money from the bandits so it could be donated to the children's hospital. And he was also really creative and smart to use supplies from his uncle's house that is alone and being remodeled. There was a lot of good and classical comedy, but I just need to say one more thing. So when his parents found the hotel Kevin was staying at, his parents were mad at the people working there for losing Kevin, but the only reason Kevin was lost is because Peter, his dad, he could have waited for Kevin at the airport, but instead he ran off to catch the plane. That was 2 sentences.
My son has been showing so much promise. He's only 8. But he understands how a story works.
He can just watch a movie and just know what's in the movie.
And talk about the bits that he likes and doesn't like. That's
seamless.
That was such a weird angle. Because they're discussing what they like about the movie, but something felt very off. I think it's just... discussing
2 sentences.
It's 2 sentences. That's step 1 in its offness. But it's something about describing. I think it's the soap opera thing of describing the characters as if they're real people making decisions, and then that informs the worth of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm glad Kevin was such a resourceful young boy. His movie was great. Kevin's movie.
God, imagine that. Imagine if you made a movie that was really good, but the protagonist was just shit in and of his own merits.
Yeah.
Just, no, it was rubbish, Home Alone. The kid got killed immediately. He just wasn't very good. We should have had a better hero. But we couldn't get one. Not at this notice.
In this economy. We're going to get Zachary Ty Bryan.
Anyway, the film has 33% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.8 on IMDb, and made so much money. It's over 10 times the budget.
Yeah.
Christ. For the last time this year, I've subjected my family to the horrors of a family festive favourite. So I'll be sampling their horrified cries and little whimpers all the way through this episode.
Yeah, huh? Yeah.
Oh, so Paul, you trout sniffer.
Hiya, pal.
Oh, Jesus. You found me again. What's one thing about Home Alone 2 Lost in New York that made you want to just hurt some people?
Oh, gosh, Paul, just the nostalgia, the pure nostalgia from the very first moment.
It's pretty overwhelming.
From that illustrated Home Alone logo as that very familiar and memorable music plays.
It's very music.
It was very music, and it was absolutely tune and
banging, mate.
I felt really good, and it's been a long time since I felt good or anything, in fact, on account of that bet with the devil.
There was that bet in which you lost your human soul. Well, that sounds very Faustian, Paul, but what happens? What happens in Home Alone 2, the second one?
So Kevin is still stuck with the worst family on earth, his, in their wonderful Christmassy house from the 90s.
Yeah.
And
well,
they're all getting ready.
The credits come up as they're getting ready, and the movie assures us that Rob Schneider is on his way. Nothing can stop it. Guys. It's happening. And then
this is pre-Sandler, I think, so or pre the worst of Sandler.
You think Sandler sucked the comedy out of him?
Gave him a different kind.
Because I've got news for you. I've seen Surf Ninjas.
I'm going to pump you full of a different kind of comedy. Trousers down.
You ain't going to tell a gag the same way twice. It comes up based on characters by John Hughes. Oh, wow. Was John Hughes not involved? Oh, no, the next credit is written and produced by John Hughes. He just wanted you to know that...
It was all him. It was all the Hughesy.
He based it on his own characters.
It's identity all over again. Kevin is the superego of John Hughes, and the rest of them are all the other ones. And yeah, they're all getting ready for their trip to Florida.
Yay! His uncle's been getting ready by talking to his nephew about his big old dick.
My tie's in the bathroom. I can't go in there because Uncle Frank's taking a shower. He says if I walked in there and saw him naked, I'd grow up never feeling like a real man.
Big old wanger. Generally,
He's like John Hamm. Look it up.
everyone gets away with abusing Kevin a bit. Kieran Culkin, I realise, is plays Fuller,
I don't realise that for a bit longer.
which is insane.
Buzz makes fun of Macaulay Culkin's actual ears in front of everyone. That's good.
Yeah, that's
And he then-
just how you know that actors are normal, Paul. They let themselves be ridiculed for their actual features.
Do I have to do this? Yes. Don't fucking talk to me again. I'm John Hughes.
This ridiculous chin.
Buzz, after making fun of Macaulay Culkin's actual ears, gives the shittiest apology you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'd like to apologize to my family for whatever displeasure I might have caused you. My prank was immature and ill-timed. I'd also like to apologize to my brother. Kevin, I'm sorry.
But the script says Catherine O'Hara has to be taken in by it. If I had been made to apologise for my sister for any one of the horrible things I did to her in our childhood,
It's so many, guys.
so many, and I started with ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'd have been sent straight to bed with instructions to come back when I'm done being a cunt. Word for word, that's what would have been said to me.
And your sister said that, and they let her get away with it, which is just how much of a cunt you were being.
Mum, you are being a bit cunty, son.
Yeah, overruled.
Go to bed.
Cunt. Go to bed, cunt boy. Anti-cunt.
All right. I love that little cunt, really.
Such a cunt. The thing is, everyone fucking loved what Buzz was doing.
He was
His
great.
Insults, the whole thing.
It was so moving.
And Kieran Culkin wasn't impressed, and all was big dick to Uncle Frank. So Kevin then says to his mum, "I wish I never fell out you." Basically,
He says
Words
that.
to that
It's
effect.
horrifying. And he says,
Yeah.
I
in
wish
that accent.
I wish that I could end up on a different holiday in New York where all sorts of hijinks can happen. Oh, stop wishing for film premises. It's getting really
It's so
annoying.
expensive.
I wish I was Richie Rich. Oh, God damn it.
Be careful what you wish for, mate. Because you'll have that guy from the Mummy in there with you. That's not going to go well.
There's all sorts of contrived hijinks overnight, which leads to them being late for the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some sped up bits of them running around and screaming.
Oh, I love it. I
there's
remember
some-
it from the last one.
Oh, great. There's some fantastic John Williams music. He's got his spread of of the top 10 classical pieces of all time, and he's gone, I can change these very slightly. And they're great. And they get to the airport, and Kevin goes, I want to change my batteries. And rather than say, do it on the plane and pick him up and then run with him through the terminal, like any
Upside
good dad
down.
would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, upside down, shaking him for money whilst he does it. They just let him do it and then run away because they are the worst parents
But Paul,
I've ever met.
that's
And
exactly what fucking Adriana Melendez said. Peter, the dad, apparently. Who the fuck knows that?
Yeah.
Should have waited for him.
Yeah.
And also, the rest of what he said was... I make the note, Christ, it would have been easy to hijack a plane back then.
Yeah.
I mean, sweet Christ, he just talks his way on. It's like, yeah, my parents are here. It's that guy. All right, do you want to look where I'm pointing? Nope. Get on. Get on the plane.
Very believable, though.
He's very endearing.
Yeah.
Aww. He's going to hijack the
Aw,
plane with his
look at
big
him.
fucking ears.
Well, if we go down screaming, he can stick his ears out the windows.
All right, Dumbo.
Balance.
Oi.
All right. That's talking to me. I'm self-loathing as well as
Got out.
hair-loathing. Sorry, I have a hair that is in front of my eye and has been for about 10 minutes, and it's just been ruining everything. I think it's done.
I'd say it
Get
behind...
back to comedy.
I mean, I'd say it behind your back, but I don't think it would fucking help me much, would it? Hey, big ears. I hate
Sorry,
this.
I'm going to fucking puke because you're such a big-eared, jug-faced prick. Anyway, Merry Christmas!
Imagine we're getting paid for these movies again. I've got bad news for you, Kevin. Anyway, Kevin can't see his family on the plane now, but he doesn't say anything to any of the staff, and I can relate to that. I very much, such as my childhood need to not create trouble or be noticed in any way, I can very much, okay, I'm just going to sit here with your family. Great, yeah, thanks. Hi, Dad. Okay? Oh, Dad. Classic. You can leave us alone now, please.
Classic Spanish
You can
dad.
leave me alone now, please, air hostess.
Which one of these buttons makes you go away? Yeah, so the young Paul Salt gets off at New York.
To start his
And
brave
goes-
new life. Mystery and
That's
sodomy.
Cobra.
He's got the screenplay to Cobra under his arm, and he's got a bright future ahead. Meanwhile, I write the note, really? We need to do this scene again? And I pretty much copy and paste that several times throughout the movie, so I'll just leave it at that one. I believe it was when they were whispering about the things they might have forgotten, which I can't believe it wasn't like, I feel like I've forgotten. Was it Kevin? Are you going to yell Kevin at me again and then faint? No?
No, I'm going to do that in a bit.
Do that later. I want out of this marriage.
Kevin, you can't just distract me with Kevin every time. I'm really unhappy. He is lost, though. Always say that.
It's the only thing holding them together. Thank God Kevin is here with his antics. I mean, nobody gets to that many kids if they have a happy marriage.
No one willingly has Uncle Frank in the house if they've got a happy marriage.
Dick. Can't get him into
and
the
his
house.
Enormous humongo dick. So Kevin's gone. They realise that now. Kevin, and then and he's in New York without his family. And let the precaution begin.
He does his eyebrow thing that everybody loves.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and he wanders around a bit, and in a population of 7.3 million people at the time, he runs into Harry and Marv. Only they don't notice him. They don't quite recognize him this time. They just walk past him.
Yeah.
But at this stage, he goes into the hotel, and he doesn't know where reception is. So he asks a passerby. And the passerby he asks, my God, Paul, what a fucking Adonis.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
What a hunky, heroic, mighty man. I don't know who it is. I didn't look up the extras, but I can just tell that he's going to make at least one country the best in the world now.
I wish he'd grabbed me by the pussy, Paul.
My pussy was right there and waiting for such a man. And,
Tripping, mate.
No grabbing happened. He's a total gent.
No.
Said I was too old.
Fantastic. But he checks out Kevin's ass as he walks away. And,
he loves it.
In my headcanon.
And then he checks into this shitty, over-designed hotel. Kind of place a gangster might run. Looks awful. Hate it. Awful hotel. Looks like it would be owned by a gaudy loser, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Speaking of which, Tim Curry steals the movie in his first shot.
Yeah, and that's it. Nothing else matters.
And then immediately after that, Rob Schneider does the opposite. He fumbles the movie and just lets it spill out across the floor.
Oh, I think you're being very unfair to Rob Schneider.
I was immediately irritated by him.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I like Rob Schneider in this. He was fine.
No.
Without... I think you'd been fine if you could have just gotten rid of the Adam Sandler memories.
Nothing to do with it. I don't think I've seen Rob Schneider in an Adam Sandler film. Yeah.
I think he was great in this, but let's move on because we've only got a couple of hours to get this episode done.
Well, look, he can't move on too far because the bellboy decides he's going to look through the guest bag because he works for a shit hotel which is full of losers and fiends. And
making the country great.
Further evidence by the fact that later on, Tim Curry goes sneaking into Kevin's room at night, which is the service you can expect from the Plaza Hotel, run and owned by monsters.
But mostly Tim Curry. He's a law unto himself.
Nobody give him a job, please. Luckily,
somebody do.
In spite of the fact Tim Curry sneaks into his room in the middle of the night, Kevin is able to rig an elaborate puppet together in a few minutes to fool him.
Yeah.
Because we should explain, he's lied that his dad is staying with him.
Yes, it's a clever ruse in order to get this luxurious hotel room in the spinning, burning pits of hell. And he orders a whole bunch of room service. He operates a clown.
Which isn't Rob Schneider.
No, he operates himself.
Everyone loves money.
Mr. McAllister?
Think of it, the tagline to this.
He causes a stir and he manages to hoodwink the members of the staff who are very, very naive. Shit hotel. He gets a visit to a toy store out of them and a pizza as well, thrown into the bargain.
He does indeed.
And after a little bit of a wander around, he manages to knock into Harry and Marv again in a city the size of 7.3 million people.
They're clearly only walking the same 2 blocks of Manhattan over and over again.
It's understandable.
It's all there. You don't need to go anywhere else.
Me and a cousin did that back in 2013. Didn't even see each other. Crazy. The hotel staff then... Well, he runs away from Harry and Marv, as anyone would. Runs away from Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, very much like the Limelight did.
No.
And he runs into the hotel where the terrible staff are unable to apprehend a young credit card thief because it's a shit place run by fucking clowns and probably owned by a cowardly moron.
Yeah, probably. Complete hypocrite.
Probably.
Stupid fucking hypocrite. But yeah, I mean, Tim Curry is especially greasy, and Macaulay Culkin as a young child is covered in grease. So there's no way the two of them they're forever going to repel one another.
It's a cynic. What happens when an unstoppable grease meets a slippery object? It's just unknown.
Unfortunately, though, the Stern brothers, they've been working on their new moniker, the Sticky Bandits. So Slippery Kev goes straight into their sticky mitts.
And he gets stuck to him. But luckily, in a city of 7.3 million people, they bump into a woman that Marv harassed earlier, and Kevin's able to use that to his advantage and get out of there.
She was a separate honeypot thing for Daniel Stern.
Intended to catch Daniel Stern, the actor.
Yeah. And it almost worked, but Daniel Stern's such a fucking method guy.
Such a
couldn't break from character. She floors too hard on criminals. But believably so. Believably so. She's a very strong-looking woman and very angular. And
Angela Merkel.
And Angela Merkel doesn't even try to ensnare Kevin in any trade agreements. She just lets him go. And he runs away to the park? I don't know.
Yes, he ends up in the park now. The family find out that he's in New York. And the dad, Peter, says, perhaps he's at my brother's place, he says, only to his wife and not the police. Kevin does go to his brother's place, but it's all boarded up and he can't get in because... Well, I don't know. He can't get in yet. He hasn't unlocked the ability that gets him into the house yet. So,
well, no, that's the confusing thing. Isn't that he can't get in? It's that he gets in later.
Yeah, he gets in later. Kevin experiences a lot of very scary, poor, mentally ill, ethnic and sex worker people on the streets. It's very frightening.
He experiences Verhoeven at night.
But look, luckily, in a city of 7.3 million people, he bumps into the same frightening bird lady he met earlier. It's ridiculous. There are at least 400 of those in New York. You'll never run into the same one twice.
Yeah, but they all have their own territory, Paul. They mark it, and they stay there and they defend it to the death.
I'm the creepy bird lady of this part. Look, everyone, this is Manhattan. We've discussed whether or not we actually even need a scary bird lady in this borough. Outrageous.
But they do they realise later on, and they all say let's donate to a charity for the bird ladies. Well, instead of a charity, we could always just have some sort of use some of our taxes to. Oh, I'm dead now. Someone shot me.
If only bird lady were here.
Yeah.
Eventually, Kevin gets to learn the same lesson he learnt last time about frightening strangers, which is you should just trust them a bit. Go on.
Just a little bit.
They'll be friendly. They'll give you stuff, and then they'll turn up to save you at the end. So go on, kids. Go right on up to that stranger.
and he does, and that's great. They have some hot chocolate, and then he realises what he needs to do now is to foil the Sticky Bandits.
Yes, he does need to foil the Sticky Bandits. She does explain her backstory involving a disastrous relationship and a lifetime of loneliness and regret. And he says, yeah, that's a lot like me and my lame brother.
My lame douchey brother. I hate him. He smells of cheese.
I guess I just never learned to trust again. He's such an asshole, actually.
Did you have any kids?
No. Oh, I wanted them. But the man I loved fell out of love with me. That broke my heart. And whenever the chance to be loved came along again, I ran away from it. I stopped trusting people. I'm just afraid if I do trust someone, I'll get my heart broken again.
I understand that. I used to have this really nice pair of rollerblades.
Oh, he does listen to her a bit. And she tells him that a good deed undoes a bad deed, which isn't true and might explain why some of his sociopathic actions later. In fact, what if Kevin only goes around befriending these weird elderly oddballs in order to justify his violence to himself? It undoes the hurt.
It works better than a lot of philosophies I've come across. Incidentally, I've only read Mein Kampf and something Stalin scrawled on a napkin once.
Damn, someone who's only read Mein Kampf. I tell you, I don't think it's going to catch on.
Books.
Oh, I mean, it just needs to calm down a bit. I had a whole list of philosophies to read, but for some reason they all started later in the alphabet than M. I was doing it by author's first name. Oh no, Adolf would come before Aristotle. Yeah. It's a shame that Ari the Aardvark didn't write a philosophical thing about Buddhism.
He did, but Hitler's publishers said no. It was too extreme.
Ari the Aardvark. Why do you spell your name with double A's? A bit. Your surname's already Aardvark, isn't that? I just want to be doubly sure.
I mean, you could be Aaron instead of Ari.
No, it's Ari.
On account of how hairy I am. No, look, there's so many problems with this logic, Ari.
Ari as in
there's so much hair on me. Fucking hate being a publisher.
Kevin's outside. It's every day with this shit. Hate it.
I need to stand up. I've got a sore bum and I'll go and get something to drink. But can I get anybody anything?
No, I'm fine, thanks. Do you want to sit here?
No, sorry. Oh, shit. It's a very long time.
Look, Kevin's on the streets and he sees a sick kid. And as a result, realizes the movie needs a climax, but not that one. It's too expensive. So they go to the old house. And there's a bit more Tim Curry, which elicits the only laugh from my mum. The mum in the television, meanwhile, correctly identifies that this is a shit hotel, quite easily the most intellectually bankrupt, morally duplicitous, aesthetically hideous, and criminally inept hotel out of the 45 hotels on this street. Soon to be 46.
I see where you're going with this.
It's very subtle. Just everyone, there's a layer to this week's podcast, so I'm going to need you to up your game.
It's the one that you're currently sprawled across, listener.
It's the one that's currently you're banging your head against. Look, Kevin lures the men away with the irresistible possibility of hurting a child.
Yeah.
And, Home Alone happens. The bit of Home Alone you like goes on. And it becomes a cartoon. Yeah! Look, they've been through this before, so they know to very carefully rush into every doorway, stand in the open, and make use of things that have very deliberately been left out to hurt them.
Well, they're tricked into because some of the things don't actually hurt them. So, fool me thrice, shame on me.
Oh, Christ. So he gets the better of them. He beats the living shit out of them for a bit and then escapes and sets fire to them for a bit, which is great.
It's great. It's really fun.
Then he gets to the park and obviously the old pigeon lady saves him.
Yeah.
And then the mum decides, I know where he'll be. And in a city of 7.3 million people, the mum finds Donald Trump sucking shit out of a sewer. But also, just beyond him, is her son. Ah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That is nice.
And that's it. Merry Christmas, everyone. They get some presents from Duncan, whose toy shop he saved.
Yep, and the presents, which will have presumably eaten quite a bit into the profits for the orphans. But never mind that. He gives them a bunch of presents. But Kevin, he spent a whole bunch of money on room service. Kevin,
$900. That's really not that much for somebody who can afford to take 2 families to Florida and then to New York.
Keep them in a massive fucking house.
In a boy that was left alone in New York because his parents were negligent.
Still, we don't know how much the hotel's costing. Although that was free.
$900.
$900 dues.
$900. He probably earns that in a day.
What's his job anyway?
Kevin?
International hitman. That's why he's so emotionally detached from these fucking people. Maybe if we have another one, it'll make me feel something. Oh, it's another sassy 90s kid. Great. What's wrong, honey? I was thinking about that guy I killed in Reykjavik. I could genuinely tell he trusted me. Anyway, Merry Christmas, everyone. That was Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what did everyone think of Home Alone 2, Trapped in New York, or whatever it was?
I loved it. It didn't make an awful impression on me, but maybe that's because I've seen it before and it's very... It's slapstick violence.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just knockabout, slip over Vaz. It's really quite nasty.
It's a little nasty.
It's quite extreme slapstick. And I suppose it's one of these films, the first time you see it and in its time. And depending on what age you are, it might be amusing. But I certainly, in 2020, having seen it before, and at my age, really, I'm just irritated by it.
I think it's a classic.
Right.
Yeah, what did you make of it this time around?
I loved it. I had a very, very lovely Christmas time.
Oh, Christmas time.
I had a lovely Christmas time, everyone, and my quickfire list is 700 points long. So for all of those, tune into my special Patreon for the Patreon, where we're going to get you to pay again.
Because I'm not having it here. Great. I mean, I don't think I've ever paid this much attention to it. As a kid, it's on, and you pay attention to it whilst you play with your Batmobile. And then the traps happen, and you look up, and you properly watch it. And then I didn't see it at the cinema or anything. You get older, and you feel like you know it, so you kind of just have it on in the background. And yeah, this is the first time sitting down and watching it. And I would say it's fine for me. Almost everything that's good about it, except for Christmassy New York and Tim Curry, which are new and excellent. was done and potentially done better in the first movie, but not always better. Sometimes just done the same in the first movie.
Yeah.
The self-aware stuff is a bit much for me, considering it doesn't actually, it'll have references to, oh, it's happening again. I can't believe we did it again. But then, in spite of showing self-awareness, it will just do a lot of the same beats again. I'll say this. As a Christmas movie, I love it. I love the aesthetic. I like the music. As a sequel, I think I hate it because this is not how you do a sequel. This is the absolute dictionary definition of how I don't like sequels to be. And then as a regular movie, it's good.
Okay.
A little shallow
cool.
or insincere, but entertaining for me. And I like the aesthetic. I think that's how I'd put it.
Fair enough. I watched it quite a lot and fastidiously as a kid. It's something that I remember really well. To the point where it's a Terminator 2 thing for me. I don't really remember the first one.
Terminator 1 and 2 are just chalk and cheese. One's a horror movie, the other's action.
Sorry, no, I'm not referring. I don't mean in terms of the quality, comparing the two, but more that I just don't really remember it because I haven't watched it that much.
Oh, I see. You've seen the second a lot more than the first.
The second was the one that I saw all the time.
That's probably the opposite for me, actually.
Yeah, right.
Interesting.
I'm sure if I were to watch the two of them back to back, it may differ, but yeah, it's back to that discussion of Christmas movies and what works as a Christmas movie and what works as a regular movie. It's just so full of, I guess when it's Christmas schmaltz, I'm happy just to open my mouth and swallow it all down in that bucket that they bring along.
It's a familiar, lovely treat.
Yeah.
No, I'd say it's got its moments, but I would prefer the first, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where I land on it, is that I think the first was more original and, demonstrably, because it inspired enough of the gags in this one. And yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it well enough. Obviously, you've got the music, you've got the aesthetic, the look of New York City, and you've got some really standout performances. So, yeah, I like it well enough.
I guess when making this, they just thought people loved the first one. We can just give them that again.
The same.
And I guess that is the sort of hallmark. That's a hallmark idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is just, we will give you the same thing, and it's at Christmas, and it's slightly different. There's another tragic character. You can relate to them. It doesn't matter that it's the same idea. You can just you can just relate to a second tragic character. And we've got Tim Curry this time, and she's got a new hat. It's
she has. And this is the movie that's got a new hat, and that hat is New York and Tim Curry. And and for a film that you really like and has a lot of the same beats, it's interesting because you see action movies that essentially the same stories, but they sort of scale up the action and such, and you don't have a problem with that. So it's an interesting idea to make a sequel to a comedy kind of family movie and just amplify that a little bit and swap out some of the emotional moments in favor of other ones. So it's curious. I wonder if there are other movies in genres I don't watch as much that have done similar things. Like, I wonder if there are any carbon copy rom-com sequels out there. Definitely should.
Hangover 2 is definitely a complete...
Right.
It's just a carbon copy. It's a spitting image of the first.
Right.
And I dislike it quite intensely for that. Just, Hangover 3, I don't think it was well reviewed at all, but I prefer it.
I think it's
immeasurably
better reviewed than 2.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think so.
Because I preferred it immeasurably because it was different. They actually tried something else, and it kind of veered away from being a comedy.
But Paul, you can't just can't make a movie like that anymore. That's what you got to respect, and that's why the director has to make movies about evil clowns, because PC's gone mad.
Yeah, PC's gone mad. Yeah, you have to be politically correct. It's just, don't be such a whiny little bitch about it, Todd.
Come on, Todd, you fucking prick.
But I laughed a lot, and it gets me in the feels in the same way.
It gets you in the fields and in the fields.
Christmas and in the fields, in the London fields.
Fucking hunts you down.
In the field in England, you don't want to be there. Trust me. But
you see, that's my idea of a Christmas film.
Hey everyone, I'm Michael Smiley. Let's do some acid.
And look for some gold. Oh boy, what an adventure!
Yeah, adventure. So I, aside from all of the Christmassy feelings and the nostalgia and the familiarity there, and all the stuff that I loved, I did try to see it from an objective point of view as well. Some of the lines do fall flat. Kevin can be very annoying at times rather than simply precocious. But there are still so many times that I found it worked, and Even though it's it may be a repeat of the first one, it still feels like it has heart. It doesn't come from the same cynical place as a Hallmark. And it does help that we've seen a Hallmark before recently.
Yes, fuck me. I mean, it's vastly superior to the fucking Doggy Save Christmas or whatever that was.
That's what that was.
That's exactly what that film was called.
Yeah.
It is just tricky. Imagine a loved one comes to you and gives you a really heartfelt speech about what you mean to them. And then the next year they come and give the exact same speech to you again. And you think, okay. I kind of thought it was more spontaneous and natural than that. This appears to be something you've rehearsed.
But if they came back the second time and went, we know I did this last year, but I just want to reiterate. And then they changed a couple of words. He'd go, fuck, it's still so genuine. Yeah, you can fuck me again, Dave.
Look, I let this film
Uncle
fuck
Frank.
me, okay? I just don't want it to stay in the morning. I want to move on. I think my parents will pass the room once I said that. Merry Christmas, everyone. Look,
go and tell your parents that you want this movie to fuck you.
They know.
Remember the spirit of Christmas.
They walked in on it happening. And speaking of which, let's get to the things that helped us, that this movie fucked us with. Let's get to this movie's many cocks. None of which compare to Kevin's fucking uncle's massive member. Have you ever seen a picture of John Hamm's bulge? He's well known for it. Yeah, John Hamm. There's a lot of pictures of him out there with, it sort of tucked down a trouser leg.
Oh, right. No, I haven't. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's got a big old dick. Good for him.
No, good on him.
Merry Christmas, everyone. His name's Ham, like festive ham. Go Google a picture of his dick.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. That's my one better thing. Quick fire. John Williams' music is fantastic throughout. He wrote a new hymn for this, which goes to the sort of Home Alone tune.
Are you there to guide me? Starlight, shine bright. See me through the dark night. Light my pathway. Guide me home for Christmas.
Yeah, it's just lovely. He's a very hard-working man.
Yes, I appreciated. There were some variations on some classical pieces, and I can't remember what any of them were called. I was going to look up what they were.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, there's that. There's one which plays off the.
Oh, that's Carol of the Bells.
That's Carol of the Bells.
Yeah.
Cool. I've got so fucking many. I'm just going to have to pick out some highlights, I think. I like when they're in the airport collecting their bags and they do the whole give this to Kevin, and they pass it along the line, all saying to themselves, give this to Kevin, give this to Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here.
Yeah.
It's a fun way of communicating that.
And in that scene, Kieran Culkin is wearing a fucking waistcoat. What a legend.
Oh.
I like the fact that there's a good gag where Kevin is watching yet another gangster movie. He loves them. And he says something like, the woman in the film gives an excuse of where she's been.
You was here last night, too, wasn't you?
I was singing at the Blue Monkey last night.
She was not. She was smooching with your brother.
You was here, and you was smooching with my brother.
Just the idea he would use the word smooching was amusing.
Oh, cool. I do like the play on the title there, because from the first film it's Angels with dirty faces.
Yeah.
And this one is Angels with even dirtier faces.
Yeah.
It's that crapness.
Yeah.
That I like in a sight gag. When Kevin's talking to this French guy on the plane. It's just he looks so fucking despondent, like a Quaalude addict. He just turns to camera and then puts his headphones on, and it's like if any kid did that in real life, you'd force his face through the tiny window there, and get him sucked into the engine. So who are you to behave like that to me?
Look,
because he's in the film.
There's every chance he was already addicted to several substances by the time of this movie.
It's possible.
It's entirely possible. He had a hell of a ride. And he's got all that to look forward to in this movie. You can watch that and think about that.
Oh, great.
I love the guy who owns the toy shop. He was a lovely old man. He reminded me of like the Santa from Miracle on 34th Street. He was just very smiley and sweet to the kid. And yeah, I loved him. He was great.
Now tell you what you do. You keep one, and you give the other one to a very special person. You see, turtle doves are a symbol of friendship and love. Now, as long as each of you have your turtle dove, you'll be friends forever.
Yeah, he was lovely.
Imagine a real bastard owning a toy shop. I bet there are some.
There's got to be some.
Profit's up 30%, and what's this? What are you giving to me? Oh, it's my child. I thought you might like to fuck off with it.
What?
Yeah,
encase
thanks.
him in plastic
Great.
and put him on the shelf?
Because I'll do it. I've done it.
Because I will do it. I've done it. I'm doing it right now.
With my plastic gun.
But I'm a mum, not a child. You're my child now.
Is that a gun made of plastic? No, it's a gun that... Well, I don't know, like coats
Real
people
gun.
in plastic. I don't know how it works. Haven't looked. Not interested.
Oh, fuck. I mean, that's exactly what most of it's like, unless it's an independent toy shop owner. If it's a company with a CEO...
Or maybe it's a
I'm just gonna
kind-hearted... Maybe it's like a kind-hearted, smiley old businessman. And that's how we'll run profits of our competitors into the ground. And force them to lay off their employees. We're going to dominate the market by dodging taxes and undercutting in the competition.
You know what you're doing, though, Paul? You're walking a very thin line between Mr. Duncan and Senator Palpatine.
All I'm saying is, have you ever seen the two in the room together? No. So
check the files, people. So I thought for a long time in the New York introductory scene, the establishing shots, that they had airbrushed out the Twin Towers because I couldn't see them anywhere. And
they're
I thought,
fucking
oh,
on
God.
it.
Yeah, and then he's on it, and it pans out, and he's on top of one, and
Yeah.
it felt nice, like a touching memorial that it was there, that it hadn't been cut out, because I know it had been cut out of a TV version of it,
Right.
maybe a few years ago,
Yeah,
when it was a bit more raw.
Sure.
But the fact that it was just there in a happy moment just felt good.
Yeah. That's good. It's a fitting memorial to the monuments. That and that Simpsons episode. And the never released Spider-Man trailer where he spins a web between the two. And that's all I've got.
Yeah.
Okay, when Kevin is explaining where he got all the money from, and he says, "I got a lot of grandmothers." That's cute.
Yeah.
That's a cute, thing that a kid would come up with.
I do love when he's explaining all this to the lady from the Addams Family, and he's explaining the situation, and she's seriously nodding along, like she's like, "Okay, I can follow this. I've got this, sir."
Come on, Ellen. I imagine her name is Ellen.
She's probably an Ellen. What a loser.
All Ellens eventually end up covered in pigeons in a park.
That's not a promise; it's a threat. I liked Marv's habit of ripping everything he can see, just constantly stealing things.
Yes, there was a bit that was really good there, where he was like just mushing off things in an ice skate rink. My only problem was that they put a sound effect every time he nabbed something. That was irritating. I'd have loved it as a background detail if, like, you saw him do it once, and then every time it cuts from Harry and back to Marv, he was wearing another item of clothing he had stolen. That would have been better for me.
Oh. Quickly on Marv, he also has a good slapped face expression when that lady gets him.
Love it.
Yeah.
Classical, mate. That's like silent movie.
Classic Express.
He's a troubadour. Okay, the limo scene. I mean, fuck me, that just looked like a comfortable time. And sometimes these movies are just about having a bit of a vicarious Christmas time. Simply having a vicarious Christmas time. I mean, especially at this time of year. Just the idea of he's got a sweet-looking pizza. It really looks fucking great. I love the look of that pizza. A cheese pizza just for him, held by Rob Schneider himself.
Can't get any better.
It doesn't get any better than that, kids. And he's in a fucking limousine going through the streets of New York, and it's just great. It's just a really cool sort of Christmassy.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, the steam coming off that pizza was wonderful. You could really feel it as it burnt your face off. Let's talk about the violence quickly.
Okay.
Lots of moments in there that I liked, but I'm just going to give a few. A lot from Daniel Stern, actually. I really loved his physical comedy, his performance in general. It might be the bricks, or it might just be when he falls and smashes his face on the floor, killing him instantly, where he lets out a really pained Harry, which was really great. When that bar is coming down the stairs and they're lying on the floor.
Oh yeah.
I love the silence that's used there. Really nice sequence.
Okay, if we're doing violent stuff, I like the slip off the ladder when Joe Pesci goes to grab it and just sort of slips right off and falls down. That's very good. I like then Joe Pesci's handstand into the toilet with a stunt double, which is just a weird moment.
Yeah.
Why is he suddenly this nubile?
Yeah.
But still very much appreciated.
Nubile?
I think nubile. What? I mean, bending.
Young.
Oh, wait.
I'm just going to Google nubile. I thought that was to do with like being young and virginal.
Fuck yeah. That's what I got from Joe Pesci.
Ready for marriage.
Well, athletic then.
Of a marriageable age.
Acrobatic
is
how I would describe him. Supple is also how I would describe him. Is that really?
Supple is a good word, yeah.
No bone. Yeah, sexually attractive, fine. I still found him that. And
that's true. I'd marry him.
I'd fuck him right there. So there was that. I like the sound of when Marv pulls on the rope and the concrete bag goes over the edge. The sound of the rope piling up at his feet.
Yes.
Had a lovely quality to it. Yeah. Yeah, that was lovely. I like the face smack with the cannon. That was good.
Yep.
Yep, that's it. That's it for violence.
Cool. The squash nose effect I thought was great. Obviously, fake noses, but something you can hold on to and move. It's great. And then just when they're on the stairs and they know that the paint cans are going to be coming down, so they act out getting hurt. Where Marv goes, "Don't worry, Harry, I'll get him." It's a nice subtle touch where, the idea being that Marv himself is a terrible actor because he's just a criminal.
Right.
I like those kinds of moments where you get to watch an actor pretend to be a bad actor.
Yeah, it's always good stuff. I like when Kevin gets into the taxi and he says, "God, it's scary out there," and the guy turns to him and says, "Ain't much better in here, kid."
Boy, it's scary out there.
Ain't much better in here, kid.
I mean, first of all, that guy was being That's a great line. I'd take that as a friendly line, and I'd smile and be like, "Oh, you're great. Let's have an adventure together." But he got terrified. That's fine. I liked the line.
Yeah, me too.
But he's being cute.
As a kid, I didn't know the meaning of on ice. As in, I feel a whole lot better once we get him on ice. I'm referring to murdering Kevin as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
As a kid, it was just, the skating rink? How weird.
What does that mean, Dad?
Tell you when you're older, it's about sex.
Oh, they're going to fuck him to death. Oh.
Yes. Nice one, son.
Nice. Yeah, it is nice. We're both nasty. I thought Brenda Fricker was quite good. I prefer the old man. He's got very sensitive eyes, the old man in Home Alone, but I like Brenda Fricker in this. She's friendly and nice.
Yeah.
And sad.
I liked her very much. Reminded me, is it Mary McDonough?
Mary McDonough.
Mary, she's in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, what? Kelly MacDonald.
Kelly MacDonald, that's it. Kelly MacDonald. Mary Madonna, Martin Madonna's weird sister.
Mary Madonna. Maradona. Diego Maradona. It's all very
I loved
good.
his tragic backstory in this. Angels with even filthier souls is what I wrote down. Okay, great. Glad I saw that later. When the parents are talking to the cop, and I think the dad makes the joke about, or the mum, maybe Catherine O'Hara does, about never losing their luggage. There's this really awkward laughter between the two of them. The laughter dies down, and Catherine O'Hara's pained laugh/cry is just great.
Right.
That sort of says a lot.
That's good. I found her odd in this one because she was much more laid back in this one about the situation. She wasn't racing across the country in this one. And I found the moment odd when the dad makes a lame joke and she just starts laughing a lot. That was, I don't know, it was a weird moment.
That just came across as anxiety and nerves.
Right. Okay. That's very big. It might be just that I've now seen Surviving Christmas, and it's changed all of my perspectives on everything.
Never going to trust any Catherine again.
I'll never trust anyone named Catherine, and that's a promise. And a threat. Now, there was one more moment of violence I missed. It's one of the first ones, when they jump off the there's a seesaw gag which launches Marv into the air, and he then lands on a car. And it was a pretty good landing on the car. It was like the beginning of Lethal Weapon or something. It was a nice sort of smack down on the car.
Oh, nice.
I enjoyed that.
Oh, and Marv goes, "That was incredible," as he comes to find him. When Tim Curry's in the hotel room and to find Kevin working the clown, it's meant to be his dad. The clown's doing his thing behind the shower curtain, and it's a hard cut to Kevin, and he's just pulling on the ropes with abandon and grinning. It was just such a great contrast from Tim Curry and the clown to him just yanking stuff.
Yay.
It's just this doesn't necessarily do what it looks like it's doing. Who cares?
Okay, I would say Kevin has great handwriting on the note that he tied to a rock and threw through the window. There's really nice writing on there.
Wonderful penmanship.
Wonderful. 5 stars.
Good King Wenceslas was playing in the orchestra, I think, and it had a very strange effect on me. It maybe just reminding me of my youth and going to religious schools.
What it was like to have the love of Jesus in your heart.
Yeah, all
Before
in
you
me.
became a heathen.
Yeah. Little has
fun,
changed. Less guilt. I mean, I was Church of England, so that shouldn't have happened, but...
Even as a Protestant, you were just the most guilt-ridden child.
Church of England, mate, not fucking Protestant.
Oh, fuck! Those are different because Henry VIII is great.
Yeah.
Divorce whoever you like, if you're a king. Kevin Culkin makes the comment that Santa's going to come visit us in a hotel, and going to come visit us, and Kevin says, I don't think Santa comes to visit hotels, and he says, yeah, he does. Santa is omnipresent.
Yeah.
Which was nice. Like, he's learnt this concept and somehow associated it with Santa. And it felt like another little dig at the idea that for kids, this Christmas is about Santa. It's, Yeah. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, cool. Cedric, Rob Schneider getting pulled along the parquet floor. That was accompanied by a nice...
Oh, yeah.
Come along, Cedric.
I like that. I liked the fact that he managed to maintain the position he had on the floor as he was being dragged. That was great.
What was good?
When the parents confronting the hotel staff about how they just let a kid get out of their hands in New York. And Catherine O'Hara goes, what kind of idiots do you have working here? And the woman replies, the finest in New York. And then they all smile. And then the camera pans right to a sniggering, simpering Rob Schneider. It's just a fucking perfect cutaway after that really great joke. Two levels there, Paul. The response from Rob Schneider.
Jesus.
Count
really
them.
dwarfing our podcast, which is a bungalow.
Yeah. A bungalow of disdain for Donald Trump.
A bungalow. Okay. Any others?
When Buzz has a genuine-ish sort of apology speech at the end, he says, "So I think it's only fair that Kevin opens the first present.
Oh yeah.
Then I'll go. Then the rest of you, and so on."
Yeah. And then they proceed to all open presents all at once.
Yeah. No one listens to Buzz. Fuck him.
Well, fuck
what
him.
he
Fuck
said
that guy.
was great. And I'll go, and then I'll be in Blue Ruin, and so on.
And then so on, all of you will appear in Jeremy Saulnier films. Oh boy. Okay, look, we've been skirting around it. You can hear it in our voices that we're all just trying to contain our excitement about the big man.
Yeah.
This is his at least third appearance after the Pebble and the Penguin and the Shadow in my last defense of, in that defense of last year.
Yeah.
And he's every bit as wonderful in this as he is in those films. It is the man. It's Tim Curry.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. We're looking for a young man.
Stay in your rooms! This is an emergency! There's an insane guest with a gun!
I'm gonna just generally
him.
every time it cuts to him, he's doing something marvelous with his face. To
the
highlight
air
a
around
couple of great moments, I mean, his pronunciation of pizza is unique.
A limousine and a pizza.
Just a pizza.
And pronunciation.
His pronunciation, his whole situation around pizza is wonderful. I can't do an imitation of the way in which he wishes Kevin to have a lovely day. I've tried. I can't get it right.
Have a lovely day.
Have a lovely day.
A lovely day.
No, it's day. It's day. It's really a lovely day. It's really.
That's true.
It's really extraordinary.
Him and his staff with Angels with Even Filthier Souls is great. I love you.
Yep, with that face.
I love you.
Just before that,
he
does my favourite face in the movie is when he says, "You were here and you were smooching with my brother," and he does a face of incredulity, which is just wonderful. It's just, and he just, oh fuck, he's great, and he does a great Grinch smile.
You're mistaken. Yeah, that's true. That's so good.
And I think it was the moment that got the laugh out of my mum was when he gets slapped after saying that there were crazy people out there, and he says, "Do wrap up warm. They're cold out," and he does a little whimper.
Yep, his lip wobble. He has a lip wobble, and then he looks away and tries to suck in the cry.
Oh, I fucking love it.
It's amazing.
He's so good. And that was by far and away my favourite part of this revisit was seeing Tim Curry.
He is the absolute highlight. What a wonderful man.
And it made me go back and watch all of his scenes from The Shadow and remember how fucking great he is in that as well.
Yeah,
So,
I was constantly thinking of his
we need to shift.
denouement.
We need to shift this into a Tim Curry appreciation cast. Oh,
We
Christ.
could do that.
Now,
Never run out of things to talk about, even if it's just the same thing over and over again.
just keep reviewing it. Start with The Shout. Rocky Horror. It's all going to be great. Did we confront, engage, beloved the OGT?
We did. We got all up in their face.
Fuck yeah.
We spat and mumbled while we talked.
We're eating something.
Then we made them the Sticky Bandits. And the Sticky Bandits, beginning with Elliot J. O'Neill, said, "Yes, I'd like to order the Tim Curry, extra cheese. Thank
Fuck
you."
yeah.
Now, are you confessing that you put cheese on curry? I guess curry does have cheese in it, but I'm thinking of I'm thinking not of Pinner now, but I'm thinking of Australian tasty cheese that you just sprinkle on your vindaloo.
You just sprinkle on your life, and it makes it better.
And you're a law unto yourself, Elliot. Thank you.
Madman.
Ryan at 27 Backspace. Oh, hello. Haven't heard from you in a while. Said, I like the bit where Daniel Stern turns into a skeleton. It's the only moment of cartoon violence in the climax that I think really works because of how over the top it is.
Yeah, it was an odd moment that. I remember as a kid finding that very surreal. Which it is. It's a surreal little touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. It showed that more of it was knowing. More knowing than perhaps you might give it credit for as like a weird about face from schmaltz into violence. BT Calloway said, "Who didn't want one of those voice recorder doohickeys he had?"
It's a wonderful thing. It can fool any adult.
He uses it like a savant as well.
He's gifted. He is very gifted with that thing.
Oh, he's gifted with that thing.
He mastered all of the 90s technologies.
All those 90s things.
You ought to see him with a fucking LED yo-yo. Badass.
It does.
Killed 3 men.
Cat's Cradle. He does the walking the dog.
Up the old man.
Up the old man.
Along the beach.
Down with Britain.
Danny Dyer's the beach. Danny Dyer meant Danny Boyle.
Danny Dyer's the beach. Yep.
Danny Dyer's the beach.
Welcome to the Bravo channel. I'm Danny Dyer.
Didn't somebody respond to that particular comment? Not me.
Yes, I was getting onto it after our hilarious riffing.
Love it.
But no, it's better that we cut it off. Blockbusters podcast said, I actually did get one of those voice recorder doohickeys. It was about as much fun as you'd expect could be had from not being a kid alone in a big city. Alone in a big city.
All along that big city.
Yeah, all along that big city.
Slide down it. Yeah.
I can imagine it being less fun being in a big city and using it in public, though, because I'm a very socially awkward guy.
Yeah, I can imagine trying to use it to surprise someone or fool them. It just comes out. Was that a voice?
It's the wrong bit.
Was that an actual voice speaking to me?
Yes. I thought you were going to say seduce. And
look,
there's our new podcast, folks.
We've got to seduce someone using only one of those fucking tape bit things.
Okay, moving on to Facebook.
What did Mr. Zucker's friends have to say this week?
Paul Hawkins, also Blockbusters, said Tim Curry, followed in short order by Tim Curry. Plus the Wet Bandits are a perfect duo. It's always fun seeing them on screen. Oh yeah, Tim Curry.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
I knocked over a screwdriver when I said that.
I'm gonna need it screwdriverless.
Oh yeah, Tim Curry. There we go. Screwdriver you. What? Jem Blundell says seconded. Always Tim Curry.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Try ordering that in your local Indian restaurant.
Seriously, don't. He will show up.
They've decided to get one up on the audience now, and the audience on their fucking. What do they call people who go to restaurants?
The couriers, attendees, customers, right?
Customers, yeah.
Eaters,
fatzos,
indulgent capitalists.
Yeah, they go. We have to get one up on the eaters now. If they order a Tim Curry, we need a way of getting them a Tim Curry and calling them out on their bullshit. So they just got Tim Curry.
Yep, and that's all you needed. And now that restaurant has been burnt to the ground
by Tim Curry. Should have brought in Rob Schneider to cool him down. Ellen Graham said,
Ellen Graham?
Look, Ellen Graham, soon to be covered in pigeons in a park. Ellen Graham said, look, I haven't seen it for several years, but from memory, The Pigeon Woman was incredibly moving. I think we see a lot of unattached older women for comedy or disgust, but it was wonderful to see an old woman with a life and love, even if it was lost. And I truly mean it. Beauty once Kevin was no longer afraid of her.
Yeah. Yes, that's a very good point. It's very true that she, is not stereotypical kind of crazy old lady used for laughs and such. She's a sad kind of figure.
Yeah.
And she's it's a good point. It's not a figure that's been represented a great deal.
Yeah.
And it's nice that, Kevin taught her to love again. That's what she's going to go fucking do.
Great.
She's going to get hers.
She's going to go get some right up her.
Fuck
also,
the pigeons.
I'm going to fuck some pigeons.
Do you have any idea how much they shit?
No more than your average bloke, am I right? Oh, ladies. Also, Tim Curry always does a get our back and push performance and injects every scene he's in with a high comedic and often wildly horny energy. And Catherine O'Hara is doing the best she can with the crazy given circumstance of a character, and she's always welcome in my heart.
At my house.
Yeah.
Just come right
That's
in.
contractual. She gets to you. She gets in you that way.
Needles are way in. When you signed your mortgage, it was in there.
It just says no Baxes. It's just one page.
No Baxes, Catherine O'Hara.
And before you can go, what is this? She grabs your hand and she signs for you. You're hurting me, Catherine.
I wish you hadn't agreed to let you sell me a house. It's too late. You're living in Catherine O'Hara's fucking life now. Anything else?
That's it. Thanks, OG team.
Thanks, OG team. Well, there's no need to talk about the one better thing, really. Die Hard 2 is pretty good, but has similar issues, but, it's all fine. It's all fine. It's Christmas. Do what you want.
Yeah.
What am I going to tell you what to do?
I know.
No one. I'm a silly chump.
That's true.
Silly chump bitch.
I think that's something we can all get behind.
In these troubling times.
Yeah.
Paul, how can people find out about One Good Thing and all our works and deeds?
Well, in these troubling times, Paul, we're probably number one on the list of things to avoid, actually. It was a surprising Twitter poll that came out. But you know what Twitter's like. It was probably mostly Russian bots. Don't listen to them. Make up your own minds.
Come on, sheeple.
That list was stolen from us. So if you can see through the lies, you should get in touch with us on OGT Pod on Twitter and Facebook. Great. You can also send us an email at ogtpod@gmail.com for all of the myth-busting truth nuggets you could ever want, such as we're good and listen to us. If you haven't reviewed us yet, now's your chance.
Yeah, don't listen to Snopes. We're actually good. And,
listen to Snokes. Yeah.
Snokes love us.
He's the only snur person I care about.
I'm Paul Snur.
I'm Snopes.
And remember, the one good thing about Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, that's Tim Curry.